Okay, folks, thanks for being patient with the videos. I'm going to try to end out 2019 with a total of 100 videos. So I got a lot of work to do. Next year, there'll be a lot more videos. I've been pretty busy on some side projects and also working overtime. Got to pay the bills. So right now, you're looking at the futures. Futures are up slightly. What I'm concerned about is the small caps. So we need the small caps to start going higher because that's where we're positioned. We're positioned 35% into small caps and 65% into Putnam stable value. Now, October is normally a volatile month, and it shows we actually been taking a beating this month, but we're not too worried about that. We think more long term. But we are positioned 35% small caps, 65% Putnam stable value. We think the small caps are going to take off as the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500 are making new all-time highs. Let's see how the markets finished today. So you see the 5 o'clock numbers. Everything was up slightly. Nothing really impressive. So we may have gained a little bit today, but we're thinking more long term. So what we're going to start doing is looking at the Dow Jones Transportations on a daily basis. We're also going to start looking at semiconductors, SMH. We're also going to look at the financials, which is XLF, and try to focus on small caps. So let's head to some of those charts. Okay, we're going to start with the IWM, which is small caps. So IWM finished at 0.11. It was up slightly from yesterday. The thing I like about it is it's above the 200-day moving average, which is the black line. The green line, which is the 20-day moving average, is below the 50-day moving average, but it's starting to head above the 50-day moving average. And then hopefully the 20-day moving average and 50-day moving average go back above the 200-day moving average. And that'll be a nice gain going into the end of the year. Let's look at SMH, which is semiconductors. Semiconductors tell us a lot about the tech sector. So you see today, semiconductors were down 1.74%, which that's kind of concerning. But the 20-day moving average is above the 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average is above the 200-day moving average. And the chart is above all of the moving averages, even though it's had 2 down days. Tuesday and Wednesday were down days. So we're keeping an eye on that. If the semiconductors continue to fall, we'll move back over to 100% Putnam stable value because the rest of the markets will fall after that. Let's look at the financials. XLF. XLF was up slightly today, 0.42%. I like the way it's set up. 20-day moving average is above 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average is above the 200-day moving average. The chart is above all the moving averages. And financials are looking good for today. Let's look at the Dow Jones Transportations. DJT was down 0.2% today. The chart is above the 200-day moving average. The 20-day moving average is above the 50-day moving average, and they're both headed high. They're both headed toward the 200-day moving average. And when they cross the 200-day moving average from underneath, that should be a nice gain to the upside. So that's another thing that we keep on our radar. Thanks for watching the video. We got about a week left in October. We're hoping that November is a lot less volatile, a lot more positive. Remember, we're here for the long haul. We are behind everybody else. Even the most conservative target date, we're still behind that, about 2 or 3%. We'll probably be about 6 or 7% behind a 2060 target date. But we're thinking that soon the markets will make new all-time highs, come down for one final dip, so maybe a 6%, 7 to 8% correction, and then head to new all-time highs heading into the end of the year. That's what we're guessing is going to happen. That's a lot different than last year. Last year at this time, the markets were all over the place, and they had a 25% drop between October and December. We don't think that's going to happen this year. We think the markets are going to end at their all-time highs, which will probably be about maybe 4 to 5% higher than they currently are. But we do expect another pullback, 7, 8%. I'm guessing about the middle of November, we should see that correction. It's just a guess. Nobody knows what the market's really going to do, but my gut tells me the middle of November, we'll have a 7 to 8% pullback. After that pullback, we'll have a nice opportunity to jump in long on small caps and perhaps harbor capital. And hopefully we end the year with about a 20% return. Right now, we're about 10%. So stay tuned. Like the videos, share the videos, comment, encourage others to subscribe. Next year, I plan on putting out 200 videos. The year after that, 250 videos for the year. We're learning each day. We watch professional traders on a daily basis. There's about 4 or 5 professional traders that I watch. And unfortunately, we have to try to make guesses for the very next day. We're trying to predict what the market's going to do the next day. The professional traders, they're jumping in and out each hour, each couple or 3 hours. They got that type of flexibility. We don't have that type of flexibility. So we have to go off of what we see, what we think is going to happen, and try to predict what's going to happen the next day. Very few people are trying that strategy. So we're lucky enough to start taking our lumps for the next year, couple of years, so we learn. But we are learning. So just hang in there. Overall, long term, we are beating the majority of the markets. I'll go over that by year end. You'll see, even if everybody does spectacular this year, if you look at the 5-year average, 3-year average, 5-year average, we're still doing a lot better than most of the markets. So, later.